Hi everyone, welcome back to March Mondays. This week I'm going to include a slow march since I realize I haven't done one of those yet. So here's a classic and underrated march I find, Kenneth J. Alfred's By Land and Sea. So Mr. Alfred and I both have in common the fact that we went from Army to Navy, and this march was written actually after a brief hiatus of his compositions. His band was in high demand during the Second World War, and it wasn't until 1941 that he composed this march. This march is great for a few reasons. The first one being the integration of both Army and Navy, both elements. You have the fanfare section at the beginning that sort of signifies the Army, and then the triplet section and the second line that signifies the laid-back, seafaring Navy. I can understand how a lot of people find these slow marches to be a bit boring, a bit repetitive and monotonous. But I think to avoid that is just to take every marking so literally, like every accent, every dynamic marking, especially. Dynamics matter. Dynamics are what make marches great. They make any music great, but the content in these marches are usually pretty straightforward. So to play the dynamics as they're written make a world of a difference. Another thing about this march is that the composer includes both triplets and dotted eighth sixteenths. So I think he really wanted people to differentiate the two, otherwise why put both of them? You know, he wants that detail in there, which I can understand. And another wonderful thing about this march is the bugle section in the trio, the part that nobody gets to. Usually there's some sort of military inspection and it's over by the time we get to the trio, or about just 2 measures into it. So this trio section starts off completely normal. Euphoniums are doing this crazy scalar pattern underneath, and it's only until the second time around that this bugle part comes in, and it's just to the fore. It's great. It's so satisfying to hear just a whole slew of bugles. I think every trio should have a slew of bugles. A slew. Yeah. I think that should be the official name for bugles, like a murder of crows or a school of fish, a slew of bugles. I would also like to apologize in true Canadian style for not being authentic in these marches. I am playing both cornet parts and bugle parts on the trumpet. Very sorry. That's all I have access to. And that is by land and sea. I'll definitely try to incorporate more slow marches in this series. There's lots out there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another march.